Hello everyone, welcome back. Olivia here with Olivia's Romantic Home, where I love to share with you all how you can make your homes boutique gorgeous on a teeny tiny budget. And in today's video, I'm over the moon excited to share with you 4 DIY, Dollar Tree, and budget-friendly decor crafts. So let's go ahead and plug in those glue guns, get out your glitter and paint, and let's get to crafty. I found this garden planter on the Mackenzie website for $88, and I just knew that we could duplicate it using Dollar Tree supplies. So for the first Dollar Tree DIY, I'm just taking this garden planter. This is a garden planter that I found at Dollar Tree, and I spray painted it white with some matte spray paint. And then I'm just taking this painter's tape, and I'm going to begin using the painter's tape to add stripes down the planter. I'm also using a piece of tape to try to space my stripes evenly, and I will tell you that this project is a little bit tedious, but please give yourself some grace. It does not have to be perfect. Mackenzie Child's items are hand painted, so just have fun with it, relax. So go ahead and continue to run that painter's tape down your garden planter until you get all the way around to the end. The next step is you're going to take your painter's tape and you're going to begin to run the painter's tape around the planter. Now, because the planter is curved, it's not going to be perfect, but do just kind of try to adjust it as you go and have fun with it. Now I'm using some black craft paint. This is the Arteza brand craft paint, and it is a pretty nice craft paint. They sell it online if you guys need some really nice acrylic paint. And I'm just going to go ahead and begin to dot inside of the little squares. I'm also using a Dollar Tree sponge brush. You could use any kind of paintbrush, whatever floats your boat, but begin to go ahead and color in your squares. Again, take a deep breath and have fun with this. It does not have to be perfect. Hand painted with all of the goodies, flaws, and all. Make it just that more wonderful. The other thing I want to tell you is to go ahead and give it a good heavy coating. Otherwise, you may want to go in and do a second coat, but this craft paint was pretty good, so I ended up only having to use one coat. And then once you're finished with that, you can go ahead and begin to remove your tape. Now, as you can see, I had the tape pull away from my white spot in a couple of places, but I do have some white touch-up paint, which is a good idea for this project. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use a paintbrush, and I'm going to start to color in the squares in between the lines. So you're just going to paint squares in between your little lines. Now, this is a little bit less than perfect also because the planter that I chose has a basket weave, so it's actually a bumpy surface. Note to self, try to choose a surface that's a little bit more smooth unless you're okay with it, which I'm okay with some imperfections. But if you're OCD, which I'm a little OCD sometimes, you may, again, need to take a deep breath and just have fun with it, but continue to work all the way around. And remember, you can use some white paint to touch up any spots that you may get imperfections in. So now I'm just going in with some of that white paint and touching it up. Now I have this beautiful gold paint, and I'm going to rim the bottom of my project with some gold paint. So if you look at the Mackenzie Child's items, they usually have gold paint a little bit at the top or the bottom, and that just finishes it up and gives it a little bit more of a regal look. And then I'm also kind of running the gold paint down the front of the planter, again to give it that beautiful Mackenzie Child's-esque feel. So I popped my pretty fern into my beautiful planter, totally on a budget, and this fern is just from, I believe, the grocery store, and I've actually kept it alive, believe it or not. So pretty and oh so fabulous on a budget. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take 2 sets of the Dollar Tree cookie sheets and some of this Waverly white chalk paint. You'll also need some scissors, a piece of paper, and a Sharpie marker or some type of pen or marker that you can trace out a petal. What I want to do is make a really pretty shabby chic kind of 10 looking flower. So I'm going to go ahead and take and cut the petal out to give myself a template. Now I'm going to line this up on my cookie sheet and just begin to trace out the template. I originally saw this idea on this Shabby Tree Facebook page. She has the most adorable stuff. You'll have to check her out. And I'm going to go ahead now and cut the little petals out. So I ended up using 3 of the Dollar Tree cookie sheets, and I was able to get 3 petals per cookie sheet. But you guys could customize this to suit whatever size that you wanted to do, and these would be really fun to do like a collage of them. I'm making this for my studio, so I really just needed one, but I'm going to go ahead and continue to trace these out and cut them out. The next thing I want to do is take this chicken of the sea can, and I'm going to trace out a center for my flower. I thought this was going to be big enough, but then I realized I really wanted a little bit bigger of a center to attach my petals to, which was just fine. I decided to go ahead and take this ribbon roll and trace another center part. Just have fun and play with it. You guys could also use a bowl for this, and just go ahead and cut this out with your scissors, and that's going to create your centerpiece that you're going to glue all your pretty petals to. Now I'm going to use the 2X Rust-Oleum spray paint in a matte ultra white, and I'm just going to give them a nice coating. I did this outside, and I probably maybe should have taped these down because they kept kind of flopping off. It was raining off and on, so I had to run out and find time in between the rain showers, and I did get a couple of petals even that got a tiny bit of water on them. I thought it was done raining, but I think that the trees overhead may have got me. So anyway, now I'm just taking my hot glue gun, and I'm going to go ahead and add some hot glue and begin to glue each petal on. Now, I've had a lot of questions about my pink glue gun. I love it. I have it linked in my Amazon store. What I love about it, it's drip free, you guys. It saves so much glue. So definitely, if you need a new glue gun, check it out. I think it was about $18 to $20. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take the end of that ribbon roll, and I'm going to reinforce the center piece of my little flower here. So you can see that this is the back side of my flower, which is where the marker parts are. And so I'm just using the cardboard to reinforce it. The foil was a little bit flimsy, so you guys could use a pizza box or whatever cardboard cereal box you may have laying around to reinforce the back part of it. Or you could just go as is. Now I decided it needed a little bit of dimension just to kind of bring it to life. So I'm taking some of this Waverly wax, and you could use really any color that you wanted to, but again, I wanted this to appear kind of rustic and shabby chic. But I'm just going to go ahead and take the Waverly wax and begin to run it along my little sunflower here. And this is super easy. If you get too much wax, it easily rubs right off, and a little bit goes a long way with the wax. And all you have to do is just take an old cloth or a towel to apply it. And now I decided to go back in with a little bit more chalk paint to give it some dimension. The spray paint was okay, but just one coat didn't seem to give it as nice of a coverage as I was hoping for. And now I'm using that little center part that I had messed up on. I decided to put that in the centerpiece to also give it some dimension. And you guys could really have fun with this. I'm probably going to go back in even and create some more petals for this. Now I'm going in again with some more of the wax and then overlaying that with chalk paint. It's really a nice thing to do to give it more of a vintage feel, and to also make it look just a little bit more high end, to add lots and lots of pretty colors, or as you can see, just dimensional colors, I guess is what I meant to say. But you guys could really get crazy with this and make beautiful, beautiful colors. These would be great to decorate a little girl's room, or your garden shed, or your she shed, or if you're like me, your crafting area, or you could put these in your living room. You could really spend some time on them and make them look really beautiful. Any little spot that you need a beautiful bright touch of a sunflower. And here it is, popped into my little crafting studio. I think it is oh so fabulous and very rustic chic. For the next DIY, I want to make a French Farmhouse Olivia Bow. So I'm just going to start and I'm going to measure my first ribbon, which is this burlap ribbon. All my ribbon is wired, and I'm going to measure it 16 inches long, and then I'm going to loop the ribbon over on itself 4 times. You want to have 4 ribbon loops. I hope that makes sense. And then once you get your 4 ribbon loops, you can just pull it out and leave a little tail, and then you're going to find your center and you want to fold it over in the center, and then you want to take some really nice sharp scissors and cut a tiny notch in each side of your ribbon. The notch is going to help the pipe cleaner grip onto your bow, and you can pull out the loops and make it a little bit more boutique fabulous. You can set your ribbon aside, or if you're making a big bow like I am, you can go ahead and grab your pipe cleaner and twist that on, but don't twist too much because you do want to be able to add more layers. So I'm going to add multiple layers to this bow, and my idea for this bow was to make kind of an all-season bow, so something that doesn't have really any specific colors to it. Now the next layer of this bow, I'm going to measure out to be 14 inches, and I'm going to use this buffalo check plaid ribbon. You can get a big 50-foot roll on Amazon or Hobby Lobby, or really any of your craft stores will carry some sort of buffalo check plaid ribbon. Now I bought this ribbon during quarantine and I could only find it on Amazon, so I think I paid about 20 bucks for it, which is a little bit too much. The best time to get it really is when Hobby Lobby puts out their Christmas decor. You can get it in their Christmas section and then use your 50% off coupon. That's just a little hit and tip. But again, you're going to go ahead and loop the ribbon over on itself 4 times. So you want 2 loops on each side. And then you're going to find your center again and go ahead and trim that tail off. Fold your center right here, find it in the center, grab your scissors and just cut a little notch. So you're going to continue adding more ribbon, and you're just going to do the same process. You're going to loop it over on itself 4 times, and you're going to do each one 2 inches apart. So your largest bow is going to be 16, and then you go down to 14, and then 12, and then 10, and then 8, and then 6, and however small you want to get. I think I did 5 ribbons on this one, and it doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. Sometimes I will just eyeball it, but I have been trying to measure it to give you guys a little bit better of a tutorial. So for this next section, I'm using the burlap colored ribbon. Again, this is about 12 inches long, and you're going to loop it over on itself 4 times. Find that center, notch it in the center. Now just tiny notches because you don't want your bow to fall apart on you. And then you're going to add that to your next section. And then for the next ribbon I chose was a black and white striped ribbon. This one I also got off Amazon. Again, I would probably though look on Hobby Lobby now. You can get ribbon off Hobby Lobby and they'll ship it to you. So I've actually been kind of looking at that for buying my ribbon. We don't have a Hobby Lobby in our town, but if you spend $50 or more, you can get free shipping. So I'm kind of adding some little things to my cart, things that I might be able to use for an all season idea. I am trying to come up with some ideas for you guys that are kind of more of an all season. So this is one of them, kind of an all season bow with lots of neutral colors. Now go ahead and notch that ribbon. This was 10 inches long again, and then you just loop it over on itself 4 times. So continue to have fun with it, layer those ribbons, and always give yourself grace. Last but not least, I'm using this Harlequin ribbon, and again, I do believe that they have this at Hobby Lobby. This was the smallest of the ribbon, so it was about 6 to 8 inches here, and I'm just looping it over on itself, trimming it off, and then finding that center and notching the center. And once you have everything done, you can go ahead and add them all together. And then my favorite part of all is the fluffy. Now, I love big bows, and I cannot lie. Comment and let me know if you are here with me and you're here for it. I love doing tons and tons of layers. I think that's what gives something that really pretty boutique finish, but you guys do what feels comfortable for you and what you have in your budget for ribbon and whatnot. But I think that adding really big bows, in my opinion, this is what I love, gives it that really beautiful high-end feel, and it also is a great filler for flowers. A lot of times flowers can be really expensive, but adding a really huge bow can take up a whole section of a wreath. So just keep that in mind. So now you're just going to continue to fluffy up your bow really well, and you want to continue to pull those loops out. You can see I'm pulling and twisting and arranging, and just keep playing with it until you get it to where your eye really loves it. Now that my bow is all finished, I'm going to add it to this grapevine wreath base. I believe it's a 14 to 16 inch base that I found at Walmart. I have reused this base forever, so it even has a little bit of hot glue on it, but I'm just using a pipe cleaner to attach my pretty bow with. Now I'm taking this garland from Michael's, and I'm going to cut the garland up because I need some greenery, and I don't have any greenery, and I don't want to run out and spend money when I already do have some garland here. So I'm just adding hot glue to the end of the garland pick here. Now use whatever greenery you have on hand, but I want to add the base of this as my greenery. Again, I want this to be more kind of an all-season wreath, something that I can pop out whenever I'm between seasons and I don't want, you know, any wild colors going on. So I'm adding a dab of hot glue and continuing to work with the greenery. The next thing I want to do is add in this pretty little frame with this rooster picture. These are both from Dollar Tree. It's actually one of those skull Halloween frames that I had painted white, and I decided to go ahead and add a little bit more greenery over here to the top. I think a fun way to frame out a smaller sign is to add a frame back behind it. Make sure it's really lightweight, which that little white frame is. Now I'm continuing to clip off my greenery and add more greenery. And you guys asked to see the entire process, which I guess sometimes I think I make really weird faces and just odd things I feel happen sometimes when I'm making a wreath. And so a lot of times I'll cut some of that out, but here it is in all its full glory, me with my weird faces making wreaths. So I'm just continuing to trim off the greenery pieces and add them, and I'm kind of staggering them. So I'll add one to the base and then one to the top, and then take a step back to see how everything looks. Now I'm taking that lightweight Dollar Tree frame and I'm running a pipe cleaner through the base of it and then up in and around the wreath. Again, this step is probably optional and you really couldn't see it a whole lot once I actually had everything on there, but it did peek out. And a lot of times when you're doing wreaths, those layers of dimension are really what makes the eye just have a lot to look at. And you guys know I really love over the top designs. So now I'm adding that cute little Dollar Tree rooster picture frame. I picked this up last year sometime. It was kind of a rare find, I feel, but always keep your eyes on the Dollar Tree little pictures. Now I'd made a smaller little loopy bow and I'm going to add that to the base of this. This is really how I love to design my wreaths and then give it a good bit of a fluffing. Now I found some lamb's ear and I decided to layer that in as well. The one thing that I will tell you guys is I really wanted to keep this neutral, so I used different dimensions of greenery. So the lamb's ear was more of a mint green color and the other greenery kind of trailed and had long stems to it. So that kind of helped things out, and you guys can probably see me disappearing from the frame in just a sec here. It's because I kind of have everything strewn about. So sometimes when I'm working, it's definitely not perfect. Now here's another little trick to fill out a space. I didn't have as much greenery as I wanted to make it really full, so I'm just taking some of these ribbons and looping them over on themselves, and then I'm just going to take a pipe cleaner and add those into the top. Again, that's just a fun little trick to also bring in some of the layers of texture and ribbons to your wreath. And here it is, the finished product in all of its glory. I hope you all enjoyed the process and all my funny faces that I make when I'm making wreaths. And I also hope that you all are inspired to gather some materials that you might have about and make a beautiful all-season wreath or wreath that you have been wanting to make. Be brave, you guys, go for it, have fun with it, give yourself grace. And if you're nervous about using color, do something like this where you're just using a lot of greenery and some black and whites and some neutrals. So I really love this one, and I'm excited to find a spot for this in my home, but I also just might really enjoy this in my studio. So comment and let me know what you all think about this. And always I ask you all comment and let me know, what is your favorite DIY in this video and which one will you be recreating? I love to hear what you guys are up to, and thank you so much for everybody that's posting photos of their home decor and their DIY projects in my Olivia's Romantic Home Facebook group page, and everybody that's tagging me on Instagram. You all are so inspiring, and I'm just so proud of everybody's hard work. Keep up the good work crafting and decorating. I'm so excited for all your creativity, and thank you all for being here. I love you so much.
You all so much for joining me on another fun and fabulous and crafty decor adventure. It is such a blessing and an honor to have you all here. If you're new, definitely subscribe, click that little bell. It will update you every time I post a new video. And for everybody that comes back and loves on me, and thank you all so much. Your love and support is so felt. Also, I want to announce that Melanie Richardson, you are the winner of my TotallyDazzled.com $100 shopping spree. Congratulations, girl. Please inbox me your information at oliviasromantichome@gmail.com. Okay, so definitely I have to announce that we have another giveaway coming up very soon. So you guys stay tuned, follow all of my social medias. I have an Olivia's Romantic Home Facebook page, also a group page that's totally free if you all love to socialize with other crafty decor friends. I love to see what you guys are up to. You guys can post photos and pictures of your home decor and DIYs. I also have Olivia's Romantic Home Instagram page where I share a good morning coffee with you all every morning, and I just love to see what you guys are up to over there. So hashtag me Olivia's Romantic Home and I will share your goodies on my story. So I just want to thank you guys so much for being here. I love you to the moon and back. Make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. Click that bell. It will update you every time I post a new video, and you don't want to miss out because I have so many fun and fabulous ideas coming for you guys. And I love you guys to the moon and back. I'm wishing you a gorgeous, blessed day. I can't wait for the next video. Until then, we will talk to you later.